The NHL has a Juraj Slafkovsky problem. After being the best player on the first line for the entire game, drops the mitts in a tie game with 4 minutes left. He gets the shootout winner on a filthy dangle. This guy's turning into a star before our eyes, and Slafzilla is finally taking the full effect that we wanted to see. And a reminder, he's only 19. We're going to talk about all of that on this episode of Habs Digest. And a quick reminder before we get into this Slaf video, a reminder that 58% of you guys are not subscribed. Last time I showed you guys that graph, you subscribed like crazy, so I'm hoping it helps again. But without further ado, Jesse, let's just get into the video. And as always, feel free to pause and look at the box score if you want. You won't see Slaf's shootout winner on the box score, but you will see his 7 penalty minutes, 2 shots on goal, 2 block shots. Man, he was just look, there's a lot of other storylines here, Jesse. We'll get to Kaiden, Primeau, we'll get to Struble, we'll get to all kinds of stuff, but we got to open up with our boy Slaf with the shootout winner. He had a great pose. I didn't quite get the screenshot, but not only that, he dropped the mitts and absolutely pummeled Connor Clifton to the ground. The blood dripping down his cheek on his way to the penalty box. I've never seen him drop the mitts before. I've never seen a more complete game from him, and as you can tell, I'm a little bit excited.
With good reason. Slafzilla tonight was just a terror. JJ, whatever nickname you want to give him, he was just playing great tonight. Like, is it just me, Josh, or is like Juraj Slafkovsky way quicker than we realized?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, right? Like, he was just taking down the ice, like doing a little bit of everything, where it's just like, just bodying people to create that separation. Like a 19-year-old just completely bodying, full-blown NHL players. I've seen him just do some amazing stuff of late. Like, just in the other game against the Kings, like, he literally took the puck, like, from his own player on the boards. He's just like, yeah, no, I got this. Just continuing out of the zone. Like, this guy is the type of player, like, when he's playing this well offensively, but then also, like, defensively, like, with the physical play and winning puck battles. Like, I'd like to see, like, his puck battle win percentage right now has to be at, like, 90%. But, like, this is the type of guy that makes your team really, really hard to play against. So that's going to be a really good thing for this team, is knowing that the Montreal Canadiens, they got a big guy like out there that can win these physical battles. That's such a threat offensively. Obviously that's pretty amazing, So what I really think is just like, we saw the progression of before where he was doing like everything kind of right on the play. And then at the end, you'd see that maybe he kind of make a mistake. Now we're kind of seeing like those complete sort of plays right now, right? Where it's like, it's all kind of coming together. And it's like, for me, it's like, we're seeing the hype right now of like, this is reminding me of like why we selected this guy, like first overall, like, just the leading up to the draft, like we're all thinking Shane Wright. And then the narrative just changed. Like there had to be something special about this player. I was like, when I saw this much buzz, I was like, okay, there needs to be something about it. And now we're seeing the reasons exactly for why that was.
It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable how quickly things have turned around as well. I mean, obviously he didn't have his greatest rookie season. And again, the start of this season wasn't ideal either, according to a lot of advanced stats metrics. And just by watching him, sometimes he still looked a bit like a deer in headlights and sometimes still getting knocked off his feet. His head was up a lot more this year. But it feels like in the past 2 weeks, this guy's just flipped the switch, especially in the past few games since he's been on the first line. The confidence is palpable. He's a completely different player. How many times have I messaged you saying, who is this? What has he done with Juraj Slafkovsky? Because this guy now is just, he's charging at people. He's like not boarding them. He's just like slamming them into the boards. These huge hits. He's winning every single board battle. And like this finesse passing, he's just turned into like the best passer on the team. All of a sudden, he's creating more chances for Suzuki and Caufield than they do for each other. I don't understand where this came from. I mean, I do. But I'm just surprised it just came so quick. This confidence is there, and while he still, maybe could have a goal or two more, like missing the net when it's wide open, whatever, he'll get there. They're working with Dr. Shot, right? The Habs have the guy that turned Pasternak in from a terrible shooter into an elite shooter, and that's who they have working with Uri. Everything is coming together for him, Jesse. I don't know, if this is the kind of game, this is a game that you look at. If you see a 19-year-old prospect in the NHL for any other team, take your Toronto Maple Leafs fan. If like Matthew Nyes has a game like that or something, you're like, oh my God, he's the next superstar. This is the kind of game that indicates to me like just the speed, the aggressiveness, the playmaking, and the finishing ability in the shootout with the sick dangles from a 6'4", 220-pound guy. And even the defensive play, there were no weaknesses from him tonight. And it's like, I just feel like he's turned into a star before our eyes.
And I think the reason for that is just the mental game. for Slaf. We know that the skills are there, but we're just seeing kind of like pre-game before we're looking at his body language. Like we're looking at like a meaner Slaf, that really is coming in for business, right? And it's like, as you know, here on Habs, yes, we love to have a laugh. It's important, but like there's definitely a place, when you're playing an NHL game to like be serious and kind of, okay, I'm going to have my game face on right now. And I was kind of looking for that from Slaf. It's okay to have fun, have a small, but sometimes you want to be serious. And if you're looking at Slaf right now, you're looking at somebody that's determined, that's ready to play, that's confident. And it's really amazing to see that now we have a first line. Now we've been able to establish it. It's like we can't underestimate how important this is, because now that we have this, you can really build the rest of your team around from there. Like that is so important that we're finally getting this together, seeing that chemistry. It's like bringing out the best in Suzuki in a lot of ways as well. So, I mean, just absolutely tremendous to see.
I can't stop smiling. Like that shootout winner, Jesse. Okay, we'll transition to the other guys now, but that shootout winner, like we saw him come up and we're like, it's over. We saw what he did. Was that the San Jose game? I think it was one of those games where he had that same dangle. I was like, he's gonna do the same thing because he just stuffed himself on the post, but had the goalie beat last time. This time he's gonna do it, and he did. But let's talk about some of the other guys quickly in the shootout. First, of course, it was Suzuki first. We got poke checked. Devin Levi for Buffalo, fantastic young goalie. Him and Cayden Primeau, from Northeastern University. Levi has the top ever goalie career there, or in the past number of years, and Primeau is second. Those guys are both phenomenal tonight. But the real clutch play, Caufield scoring in the shootout, but Ullinen down 2-1 in the shootout, needs to score to advance. He's now 3 for 3 in his career. He's the reason Slafkovsky was set up for that goal. But let's talk about some other guys, and we'll flash the box score back up. And first things first, let's talk about Cayden Primeau. In a game that we all know is very important for Cayden Primeau, the Habs are looking to trade one of their goalies. That is no secret. Cayden Primeau with near 65 minutes time on ice. The only reason it wasn't 65 is because there was a delayed penalty at one point. 958 save percentage, 46 saves on 48 shots. That's his career high. That's a season high for the Habs, I believe, Jesse. This was just a clinic from Cayden Primeau, something I don't think anyone really expected. He looked like a star goalie tonight. I mean, I felt like I was more comfortable with him in net than any Habs goalie I've seen all season.
I'm not going to say a young Patrick Roy, but if he keeps putting up, that's big words, I know. Yes. I'm just joking around. But if he can keep putting this together, that's what'll make you think. Like, this is definitely a game that's good for the old save percentage. Of course, we're allowing way too many shots, but in arguably one of the biggest games of his career, it's like, okay, who are we going to keep kind of going forward? Primeau, is it Allen? Can Primeau stop, doing saves with his glove hand?
Yeah.
And of course, did a beauty glove save, I think, to really answer a lot of those questions tonight. But what an amazing battle just from two young goalies, and Cayden Primeau and Devin Levi really going back and forth with just amazing saves. You got Cayden Primeau, of course, I'm really starting to like this guy a lot. Like after a game like tonight, I'm so happy that he got a little bit of support from his team. You see Devin Levi in the TV timeouts. He's actually meditating on the other side of the ice, making good use of his time because he was in the zone. He was ready to play. I love the old school poke check there, even though it was against Suzuki in the shootout. But what an amazing battle between these two young goalies, right? And this has to feel so good for Primeau. For a young guy, we need to do things to help them. And when it's a year, when it's all about development and growth, when I see a game where I'm seeing Juraj Slafkovsky play so well, where I'm seeing Cayden Primeau, show up and play just a stellar game. For me, this is just so encouraging for the future.
Yeah, there's so much going on tonight. And another great thing for the future is Jayden Struble. Jayden Struble, the guy that we thought maybe would play a few games with the Habs this year. Of course, had a great year last year, I believe, also at Northeastern University. He came out and he scored his first goal. It was a bit of 4-on-4 because new acquisition, I think that's his name, on the Buffalo Sabres. They traded the 7th round pick to get him. Big boy gets a 5-minute major for just slamming Justin Barron into the boards from behind. And of course, I think it was Dvorak or Guhle, I think, got an extra minor. So it was 4-on-4. And then Kovacevic and Struble are just going up the wing, which is like a weird 4-on-4 tandem, but sure. And then, but yeah, Struble's just like, nah, I can jump up into the play. Beautiful pass from Kovacevic. Elite tip from Struble as he puts it past Levi for the goal. And 14 seconds later, Suzuki comes in on the power play and snaps it home. It was just, 2 goals in 14 seconds. Of course, the Sabres came back to tie it up in the third with a Skinner goal and a Poso goal. But Jaden Struble, Jesse, I mean, especially with Arber Xhekaj. Now, to be fair, Xhekaj played with Mayu today, and he actually looked a lot better in his second AHL game. But Struble is doing everything he can to not be sent back down. What have you thought from him? I mean, not only the goal, but the physicality and just the solid defensive play as well. He made some outstanding defensive plays on odd man rushes tonight, too.
Yeah, doing everything he can and doing a little bit of everything on the ice as well. We see in the defensive zone with some big hits, creating separation and able to get the puck as a result. Like we're seeing very early on that Jaden Struble is the type of player that you don't want to be hit by if you're an opposing player for sure. But like, what a great read for him to be able to jump into the play, to really be able to recognize that, get a great tip kind of coming in. It's, really nice to see, of course, maybe not the best news for Xhekaj, but I mean, this is just showing like how great our depth is because, Struble, we see, okay, great results, in terms of physical testing, obviously, a great prospect, but we never know until they get to the NHL level of really what we have. So when we start having these prospects that are now no longer prospects and coming into the league and really making their mark, like this just looks so good for the organization. It almost makes me question, like, do we got a couple other gems? We got a couple other Strubles kicking there in our decor as well.
I mean, it's possible, right? And that's the thing. Like, eventually we're gonna have to trade some of these guys, which is just so unfortunate. And again, not all of them are gonna end up being top pairing guys, of course, but it's just phenomenal to see this from him. Phenomenal to see from everyone. I mean, look, a lot of guys had good games tonight. It wasn't just these guys. Matheson played phenomenal. Play in overtime. He didn't have a stick, and he shoved Rasmus Dahlin, one of the best defensemen in the NHL, while Matheson had no stick. He just shoved him and pushed him and punched him and knocked him down out of the zone. It was just like everyone was phenomenal tonight. Some bad news for Tanner Pearson. He took a puck off the hand, didn't return. Might be looking at another call-up. Mitchell Stevens already on the team. And we might see, I would guess Emil Heinemann's probably next in line, if not Joshua Waugh. There have been some weird things going around Joshua Waugh's name recently about some maybe off-ice composure. Not sure, and just speculation. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. But Jesse, this was just a fun game. Amazing stuff. Slav is a beast. Slavzilla is, I didn't have the, Slavzilla is back. We got, I don't even know what else. Phenomenal game, guys. Leave us a like down below. Just comment your thoughts about this game. We are so thrilled. Thank you for 9,000 subs, by the way. We could go on for another 20 minutes, but we're going to call it here at almost 13 because that's a bit longer than usual. So for now, that'll do it for this episode of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. How about say 10K subs? That'd be so cool, right? I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.